Well, hey everybody, this is Christy Furio with Keys to the Shop, and welcome to another edition of Shift Break. Today, our episode is brought to you by the wonderful folks over at La Marzocco. You can find more information at lamarzocousa.com and also reach out to them, info@lamarzocousa.com. If you are interested in investing, it's a lot of money to invest into an espresso machine, but something that you can count on, something that has been built by hand in Florence, Italy since 1927, something that has been the cornerstone of some of the world's best coffee shops to today, then La Marzocco is the thing that you want to look into. They're a household name in specialty coffee for that very reason: beauty, dependability, innovation. KB90, that's the espresso machine that has the straight-in locking portafilters. You've got the scales in the drip tray, as well as the auto flush in that machine. You've got the Linea, classic Linea, one of the great machines of the world, and also the Linea PB, the classic with all of the technology of today to give you ultimate control. Leva is like pulling a shot. You pull a shot of espresso on the Leva. It's like a technologically advanced version of a actual manual espresso machine, and there's lots of different configurations and sizes and shapes, etc., of espresso machines that La Marzocco is working with their customers to match them with, get them the right gear. And so if you're interested, again, in the best espresso machine for your cafe, your new cafe, you're scaling, you want to upgrade, La Marzocco is the place to go. So again, check them out, lamarzocousa.com, and also reach out, info@lamarzocousa.com. Now, I also want to mention our friends at rattleware.com. So Rattleware is one of those things, I'm not sure if they actually made the name Rattleware around the idea that small wares kind of rattle around. Maybe that's it. But it's been around for quite a long time. I've got some old school pictures from Rattleware, but they have been in the background of some of the best coffee shops out there because that's where they want to be. Small wares support the bigger picture of the cafe. And that's what Rattleware wants to do. They want to be the group that is helping you get the right pitchers and whisks and knock boxes and shot glasses and all the little things that make a big difference. So if you want small wares that just work, you don't really have to think about it, but you count on it. That's Rattleware. So check them out again at rattleware.com. Now, today I wanted to talk about something that, originally I put this out this morning and I didn't intend to talk about this, but I've really got it on my mind and I wanted to mention it to you. We are going to have a shift break about who is more important. We're going to talk about the staff or the customer. And, I'm not going to do that episode because I think maybe you understand that is a false question. Who is more important? Like asking, who do you love more, mom or dad? And I don't know. Don't ask me that. It's like, just wait till it's over. The answer is both, of course. And we don't want to say one over the other. But there's different ways we care at different times for those people. Those are our people. Everything kind of intersects and ebbs and flows and harmonizes at various intervals. And this kind of leads into our topic for today, which is the topic of something I think about a lot, actually. The conversational nature of reality is something that I hear from the author David White, who wrote the book that I recommended a long time ago called Crossing the Unknown Sea. It's about vocation and identity. But then there is the book that he also wrote called What to Remember When Waking. And I'm listening to that book as I walk in the woods. I try to walk about 3 or 4 miles in the mornings when I can. Sometimes it's really dark, and it's a good time to think and just kind of work through ideas. And sometimes I'll record ideas. It's good to have that time to start in the day. I'll pray, and things like that. So I recommend, even if you don't walk 3 or 4 miles, you can just walk around your block or just have that bookend kind of day where there's a beginning and an end that helps buffer and reground you. For me, this is what I do. But during that time, and I'm listening to this book, and maybe my third time through the book, the concept of a legend from Ireland that David talks about is this group of people called the Tuair de Danann, which was a people that were pacifists who loved beauty, who loved color, and they were people who had a more peaceful way. But there was a group that came that were more savage and warlike, that challenged them and wanted to upend them and challenge them to battle. And as the more warlike, confrontational group charged down the hill to face the Tuair de Danann. The group of these pacifists, these Tuair de Danann folks, they turned sideways into the light and disappeared. They turned themselves away from the conversation of that warlike nature into the light where they had been accustomed to having the conversation. And, you know, I took this as a lot of different ways. You know, you apply it professionally, you apply it personally. You know, if you're thinking about the conversation that's being had in the industry, I'm going to bring this to coffee and say there is a lot of there are a lot of topics to think about when it comes to you and your energy, and everybody is after your ears and your eyes and your thoughts and your money and your time, your emotions. These are all commodities that, and I will admit, even I myself am doing this as we speak. As we talk about this, I'm thinking, okay, I hope this makes a difference in your life and that you're lending me your ears and you're thinking about it, you're investing. And I'm really grateful that you are. Um, but the truth is that not all conversations that are being had right now in coffee can be attended to by you in a meaningful way. And in fact, not many conversations, there are some conversations that shouldn't be given the energy that you do give them because they are counterproductive. And what I mean by that is we are constantly told that we are part of the problem. Like if you're involved in coffee and you choose to own a coffee shop or run a coffee shop or you're in coffee, you could get the idea, if you pay attention to the right sources, and there are many of them out there, that in spite of your best efforts and intentions, you could have the utmost nobility and integrity, and you could actually be doing really great work. But were you to only judge your progress or contribution to the industry based on what others who don't know about what you've done tell you about yourself through articles or other means, then you'd be really dejected. You would be trying to figure out a way to posture yourself so that you absolve yourself from the guilt that is being thrown on you as people out there are saying whatever you're doing is not enough. Things are bad, things are terrible, and they're getting worse, and you're part of the problem. And that ultimately, I know that's a little reductive. And of course, there are things that we bring up on the show that I think are helpful to address, that are saying, hey, don't do these things, but instead do these. It's when we don't balance it with the acknowledgement that the daily work and likely the intention of your heart is not the kind, it's not something that is as evil as you might be led to believe when you are being told that, even though you woke up this morning and you want to open the shop and you want to do very well for your staff, you want to pay them what you can, you want to take care of them, you want to communicate well, you want to serve your community, and you're sacrificing a lot of your time and effort and energy. And some of you aren't even being paid at this stage in your business's journey. You're doing as best you can. You read about yourself, like this avatar of ownership, as the bad guy, and you have a choice to make. You can have that conversation, and you can take on that moniker and that title that is given to you by people woefully uninformed about you and your intention and the contribution that you made to your community and your staff, etc. or you can turn sideways into the light and say, here is what we are doing. No, here is what I here are my intentions, and I am not going to have a conversation with this group of people. Now, it doesn't mean I'm not going to learn where we can improve, but I'm not going to take on the a false sense of guilt as a way of posturing myself in the industry to try to please the pundits, to try to please the seemingly never ending cycle of, no matter what is done, organizations are started and who it is, it seems to be some entities' jobs to find ways to denigrate and label, and who knows what kind of things are being worked out themselves in this. It may be just a way of making themselves feel good. It's cathartic. But the real work that is done to create change in the industry and positive change has to do and is in the realm of people. It belongs to the people doing the work who don't have time to read the articles seemingly about themselves. They are too busy building relationships. They're too busy to pay attention to the posts and the why aren't we talking about this posts, because they're not just talking about it, they're actually doing it. And it's an aspiration of ours, it should be an aspiration of ours, to remove ourselves from the conversation and to put ourselves into the action, and to graduate from the hand wringing to the hand holding, to grab a hold of others' hands, and not be so isolated in our fervor, to not be guilty of complicity in the demise of all that is good and holy in coffee, in spite of the fact that we've been we thought we were doing as best we can, and we thought we were actually making a difference, but apparently these strangers on the internet are telling us that we're not. It is a silly conversation to have when you bring it so close to your heart that it affects your heart. Again, there might be some truth even in the dumbest of Yelp reviews. And sometimes that's what I think of these things. Like, their Yelp reviews are people that have not even been to your coffee shop, but they don't like your look. I don't like the cut of their jib. And they just, like, in some almost mean-spirited way, will say something negative about your space. And you can take it in stride, knowing that the totality of who you are doesn't depend on the opinion of strangers, unless you give them the power to do so. And so that's where I'm thinking we need to focus, especially as we round out this new year. We are going to be stress tested during the holidays. We're going to be putting ourselves out there for people who are stressed out. Our community, yes, they're having people come in. We talk about holiday hospitality because it's so important, that it's us trying to do the best version of who we are, even more so every day, because we're busier and busier during this time. And there is, again, this little voice that tells us, you're not good enough, you're not doing enough, you're guilty of grave immorality toward those other people in this group or that, etc. Can you tell me how you're supposed to get through the daily work of coffee when all you hear and all you pay attention to and you give your energy to all of those messages, but you're not attending to the positive and the good, and giving energy to the things that do have momentum, that have that resonate? They are the beginnings of something that is yet to be revealed and unfurled, like a plant, and they need energy. They need the watering of your energy to grow. And if you rob what you're doing of your energy and focus on giving your energy to the things that you feel guilty for not doing, you probably aren't going to do much. You're going to not have anything. So the idea here for this shift break is, give yourself grace. You don't have to have that conversation. Look at the positive and say, where are we contributing the most and best to our community, to our family, to our staff? And how can we do more of that? And we can continue that and attend to it and give it our best energies. And how do we wean ourselves away from feeling that tinge that drives us to have that posturing of, we would call it like virtue signal to the industry. This is why we have things like greenwashing, because people just want to be free of the of being impugned, right? They want to be free of being accused, and so they check the box, and we don't realize it even in the people who do put out these messages for fear that there is, and there are lots of big issues to address. The way that it's put across causes the washing aspect, the signaling, rather than the substance. The substance is already there. There is a lot of value in what you're already doing right now that needs more of your attention and focus to celebrate and to then refine. And sometimes you do need to combat. Sometimes you do need to push against something in order to be for something, but not always. You don't have to generate a sense of urgency only around averting disaster. You can generate a sense of urgency through this virtuous cycle of wanting to do more good that you see and celebrate. Sometimes you do see the negative and you have to address it, but that is done more effectively when you are a balanced individual who has not outsourced their identity to the opinions of people that don't know the nuances of the work that you do. So be encouraged today. There's likely a lot more good that you're doing. Be thankful for the opportunity, for the good that you have the ability to do. Be faithful in each step in doing it. And as you have the opportunity to improve, take on criticism in a more healthy way. It's not that as though you need to get rid of criticism, and feedback sometimes is necessary in order to do better, but it's a mindset of, let's do this to safeguard and protect and cause to proliferate the fruitfulness of the things that we are already doing that are good and fruitful, rather than only focusing your identity on trying to shed the guilt that is being pushed on you by others who don't necessarily know exactly what you do. They don't know your character, and yet see the freedom and feel freedom to impugn your character simply by dint of your position within the industry. That's not how we make progress. That's not how you're going to progress. And so we have to turn away from that conversation a lot of times into the light, just like I mentioned earlier in the episode. So anyway, kind of I don't know if this stream of consciousness, but it's definitely something that I feel we need more of in the industry. So think about today who, what you're going to celebrate, and how you're going to give your best energies to the things that are going to continue to make a difference, because you are making a bigger difference than you think. And I'm grateful for you and grateful for it. So thanks very much, everyone. That's it for today's Shift Break. And we will see you again next week on another edition of Shift Break.